If you're brand new to Guild Wars 2 and staring at the character creation screen wondering what profession to pick, this video is gonna be for you. Choosing your first profession can honestly feel very overwhelming. There's a lot of options and every class looks cool in its own way. But not every profession feels good when you're just starting out. Today I'm going to walk you through 3 professions that I genuinely believe gives new players the smoothest early experience, and I'll explain why. First up, we have the Guardian, and this one I can speak on from experience. I've put over 240 hours into the Guardian, and it was the profession I ended up maining for quite a long time whenever I swapped off my Thief. What makes the Guardian so strong for beginners is how stable it feels. You have access to blocks, you have access to heals, you have access to damage mitigation, and you have built-in support for others as well as yourself for whenever you're just playing solo. If you make a mistake, 9 times out of 10 you'll usually survive it. And that matters a lot when you're still learning the in-game mechanics. Guardian also teaches you core Guild Wars 2 fundamentals: the positioning, the timing, the managing of your cooldowns, all without punishing you too harshly for learning them slowly. It's forgiving, but it rewards your skill growth. Another big advantage of playing a Guardian is just you're always useful, whether it's by yourself or if you're helping out other people. Even at low levels, you bring value to events and group content. That feels good as a new player. You don't feel like you're just tagging along. You end up feeling like you're making an impact along with everyone else you're around. If you want something that's durable and well-rounded and strong in almost every type of content, the Guardian is a fantastic first pick for someone who's still looking to dip their toes in. Next, we have the Ranger. The Ranger is often recommended to new players for one big reason: your pet. Whenever you're learning the game, having something else take pressure off of you is huge. Your pet can tank enemies, and it can hold aggro. It gives you breathing room to learn positioning, combat flow, as well as it allows you to sit there and sit back and take things in from a distance. That makes early leveling noticeably smoother. Ranger also gives you flexibility. You can play ranged with a longbow and stay safe at a distance. You can also use an axe and get in medium range and kind of do the same thing. Or you can play with a short bow and push things away from you if they get close, or have your pet tank damage, and if someone ends up aggroing off of you, just turn invisible. That adaptability makes it less punishing if you're still figuring out your play style. Another underrated benefit: you just don't feel overwhelmed. You can sit back, you can let your pet do most of the work. You don't have to worry about dodging too much or too often, as your pet is most likely tanking a bunch of the mobs that you're fighting, or at least maybe the one that does the most damage. The mechanics are straightforward and the gameplay loop is clear. You don't need deep system knowledge to really feel effective, and it allows you to understand the system itself, not only for the Ranger, but for the game. So for brand new players who just want to enjoy the world without constantly feeling stressed in combat, the Ranger is extremely comfortable and easy to use. And then there's Necromancer. If Guardian feels stable, Necromancer feels unkillable. Necromancer is one of the most forgiving professions in the entire game, and it's because of their unique ability, Death Shroud. It acts like they have a second health bar. That alone makes mistakes far less punishing than any other profession. Pulled too many enemies? Pop Shroud. Messed up your positioning? Pop Death Shroud. Still learning enemy patterns? pop Death Shroud. You want to sit there and walk around and look like an evil cloud? Also, just pop Death Shroud. On top of that, Necromancer has incredible sustain and strong area damage, which means you accidentally aggro 5 enemies instead of 1. You can actually survive it, especially if 3 of them are veterans. For beginners who are worried about dying a lot or feeling overwhelmed, Necromancer provides a huge safety net. Most of their weapons involve them being ranged, which doesn't really seem like it. You put on an axe and all of a sudden you think that you're melee, but you're actually ranged, and that works for a lot of cases. Confidence matters whenever you're learning, and if you want something that feels powerful early, forgiving, and strong in solo play, Necromancer is a fantastic choice. At the end of the day, Guild Wars 2 is just incredibly alternative character friendly. You're not locked in forever, but your first experience with the game does matter. If your first profession feels frustrating, you're more likely to quit early. If it feels stable, forgiving, and fun, you're more likely to stick around and explore everything the game has to offer. Guardian gives you balance and reliability. Ranger gives you comfort and flexibility. And Necromancer gives you survivability and forgiveness. You can't go wrong with any of them, honestly, and each one is a different playstyle in its own right. All of them are on the beginner friendly side of the game. So, if you're still new and still deciding, let me know what you're leaning toward. I'd love to hear it. And if you found this helpful, just consider sticking around. I've got more Guild Wars 2 content coming.